Hey YouTube, I'm Mark.
I'm Rocky.
And we are This Cruise Life. We are excited today to talk to you about our week aboard the Celebrity Apex.
Absolutely. Stay tuned because we're going to talk about what we loved, what we didn't love,
and what we hated.
We're going to start by talking about what we loved on the Celebrity Apex.
And there was a lot to love.
There certainly was. From the time that we got on the ship, the design?
We said it in the first video.
We did. We said in the first video.
We loved it after 24 hours.
As far as the layout of the ship, I mean, Mark hit the nail on the head. It's a gorgeous ship. It's very well designed. They put a lot of thought into the spaces and the art that's in the spaces across the ship. It's absolutely beautiful.
It is an absolute gorgeous ship.
It really is, yeah.
We also loved in the stateroom. Once we made it to the stateroom, the fact that we could control the features of the stateroom via our phone. We could control the TV, we could control the lights. I loved that in the morning. I would just click good morning, and the lights would come on. That was a great feature. The bathroom in that stateroom.
Oh my gosh, the bathroom was huge. The shower was incredible.
Huge for a cruise ship. It
was, yes. And same thing for the shower. But the storage between the bathroom and the stateroom was just amazing. We didn't have things sprawled out across the room this entire cruise. It was so nice.
It was great. And that shower, truly, I'll reiterate it. I tons of space. I didn't bang my elbow. It was great. The shampoo, they're in squeeze bottles. They look really rich. That was a nice touch. The bottles didn't work all that well.
No,
I mean, I know that's a didn't love, but I mean, like you had to pump it to get the soap out. But loved that bathroom, the amount of space in there. We both could be in there brushing our teeth or what have you, and the storage, you're right. It just worked. Celebrity did a really great job from that perspective.
They did. And talking about the bathrooms, you discovered some really cool features about the bathrooms on the ship.
So I love a good public bathroom where you can just wave your hand and the door opens. You don't have to touch anything. One of the other things that I loved about Celebrity that I think they got right is after a period of non-use, the lights dim to save energy. Also, they are automated sinks, automated soap dispensers, and they have reusable towels. They have folded towels that you use to dry your hands and throw in a basket that they wash and then they replenish. So you eliminate all of that paper waste in their public bathrooms, which I thought was an awesome touch. Go environment.
Yes, that was fantastic.
You didn't love the soap dispenser.
The soap dispenser was a challenge.
You gave that feedback on the survey.
I sure did. Couldn't find it. You had to bend over to see where the soap was going to come out. That was a little awkward.
Yeah.
Something else that I loved, the entertainment was actually really spot on this ship. There were 2 silent discos, not just one. The first silent disco was just like any that we had been to, where they had 3 channels of music playing and, you know, everyone was bebopping on the dance floor and having a good time. The second one was a battle of the DJs, and they had 3 different DJs up there. One of them was actually our cruise director, and they all had their own vibes going on their channels. And I mean, this footage,
just watch it.
Is amazing. On top of that, the shows that they had in the theater were also really good. They had 3 of them over the course of our sailing, and I would say that one of the shows in particular stands out among all 3.
I loved them all. The technology in that theater is unlike any. That wrap around LED screen that wraps around the stage, that round stage, how the cast interacts with the tree. I don't want to give too much away. Don't want to give too much away. But how the acrobatics, the aerialists, we're on a cruise ship, folks. This was amazing entertainment.
It was
top notch.
It was.
One of the other shows that I really loved was the ABBA party.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
In the club. Shauna made a joke at the main theater. She said, "You've got to come to ABBA at 10. I have seen the show go until 1, until 2, even 3 minutes past the hour. You don't want to miss it." And so I will say I'm a big ABBA fan. It was a blast. I'm pretty sure of the group of friends that we made, I was the only one that was out on the dance floor. Maybe there were a couple of you are out there.
Yeah.
Super fun. Really enjoyed that.
One of the things that we discovered as we were exploring the ship, I don't know if you remember this, on the day 2, I want to say, it was probably right after we recorded our video from the 24 hours, we discovered the Destination Gateway.
Destination Gateway is the hub where you get on and off the ship in port, and really intentionally designed space with retractable gangways. They have their own gangways built into the ship that they they put out and they pull back in. Really, really smart.
But overall,
cool.
Unexpected surprise. It was really, really cool, and we got to use those on 2 of our ports.
We did. It was kind of funny, I will say. Destination Gateway works really well when you port starboard.
Yes.
When you port on port side, you still literally have to go through the I-95, and they literally have to have a crew member positioned there to make sure that I-95 traffic, the crew traffic, doesn't run into the passengers as they're going across that. So it'll be interesting to think about how they could redesign that in the future. Yeah.
I would have to say that some of the other things that we really enjoyed was Eden. The space in general, I mean, you saw where we were filming our previous video. It was a gorgeous space. They did a really great job at utilizing the space all hours of the day. It wasn't just a nighttime venue. You could go in there and enjoy the daylight. You look down on the water while you're reading a book from one of the chairs. And then in the evening hours, they had the bar. They had actual shows going on inside of Eden.
That's great.
And then the very well hidden Eden restaurant down on the lower deck was some of the best food that either of us have ever had on a cruise ship.
I mean, I would venture to say it was the best food that I've had on a cruise ship. That mushroom risotto, I loved it so much. I was emotional when she tried to take it away from me, and she's like, okay, I'll leave this here for you to keep working on. That lamb.
The lamb was phenomenal. What an amazing experience that was. And truly. On Thanksgiving, I couldn't think of a better way to spend our Thanksgiving evening together.
It was great. It was great. Speaking of after Eden, I know we mentioned the Martini Bar, but seriously, one of my favorite spots.
It was a fun space.
It was one of my favorite spots on the ship. Redesign that space because it was a little awkward. You were on this raised platform and having to lean down to order. I don't know if you remember that. Behind people, you'd be leaning down to order. It was just it was a little bit weirdly designed, but by far the best drinks and most consistent drinks. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
It was always a busy space. There were always things going on. We came back onto the ship from, where was it? Tortola, and we immediately got a drink at the bar. I mean, it was great. There was always something going on there.
Right, because that stairwell comes up into the Martini Bar from Destination Gateway. Super smart celebrity. We see you. Yes. We see you. And then the last thing that I would say that I loved, it was seriously one of my favorites, is the Ocean View Cafe. I realize, again, I said it in the first video, I'm not a huge fan of the Carnival Buffet. I would eat at this. I would gladly eat here. The Indian food was great. The Mexican food was great. The build your own pasta and stir fry stations were great. I mean, just loved that place.
Oh yeah. And you might have forgotten, but 2 or 3 days into our cruise, we finally discovered the Masked Grill.
Oh, the Masked Grill. I love that place too. I realized it's burgers and hot dogs.
So basic, but so good.
So basic, but so good. It was really, really enjoyable. And I love that you had sauerkraut and you had relish and you had your build your own stuff. Like, I just really enjoyed that.
And make sure you watch this video about the fries.
Did want to make a proclamation live. These are, across all of our cruises, the best French fries I have ever had on a ship. They are, the crunch is delicious, the interior is luscious. I don't know if I can say that about French fry, but it is honestly awesome. That's a lot to love on a ship.
It sure is. But unfortunately, that's not everything.
There are some don't loves, and there are some absolute hates.
Let's talk about the things we didn't love.
Okay. I mentioned it in the first video, but drink inconsistency. That was a consistently inconsistently experience throughout the entire week. Eden, I ordered the Pina 3 different times and got 3 different drinks. Good news, 2 of them I liked. One of them was terrible, but that was truly the same experience we had across the ship. Magic Carpet was exactly the same way. It didn't matter how many times you ordered the same drink, it was always different. The Martini Bar, part of the reason why we love that bar is the experience was always the same.
And I want to clarify something, because in our first video that we did, the 24-hour recap, I said that I ordered all the drinks and I loved everything I got, and he ordered what he had and it was terrible. I tried his drinks and I can confirm that what he ordered did not taste good.
Yeah. Good news, again, we had the premium drinks package, so if we didn't like something, we could just leave it aside, but that was a really disappointing thing to me.
That absolutely was. Another disappointing thing. When we were docking in San Juan, Puerto Rico, this was our first time docking on this ship, mind you. We're sitting there in our stateroom doing our work, minding our business, and all of a sudden it starts to vibrate. Not just like a little da-da-da-da-da, but violently vibrate. We've got some really great footage showing this.
I don't know if the video can pick this up, but this ship
It's violently shaking.
I mean,
Side thrusters.
look at the bed.
mind you.
Imagine if we were sleeping right now.
That would feel like a little massage.
I mean, this has got to loosen everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I realize that they're designed to have flex, but this is gonna loosen stuff up. It was wild. I've never experienced anything like that.
The other thing that was a little bit disappointing from our experience on board the Celebrity Apex was the dining times. We never got to experience breakfast in any of the establishments except for Ocean View Cafe.
What was it, like 8 to 9?
8 to
9:30?
9:30 was breakfast.
That was it
That was it.
in the main dining room.
At any venue, if you wanted to go to Eden Cafe, it was also 8 to 9:30.
Okay.
They didn't offer any brunch. So if you wanted any type of brunch offering, you'd have to go to Ocean View Cafe.
Yeah.
Breakfast would be served until, I want to say 10 or 10:30. And then an hour later, lunch was set up.
It was just really...
Right. And lunch was the same
Compromised.
way, honestly. Eden Cafe, I remember, had really reduced hours. If you wanted to go to the main dining room, they only had one dining room that was associated with the specialty breakfast and lunch times. And that was from 12 to 1:30. Otherwise, again, you would have to go to Ocean View Cafe. So I was a little disappointed in their offerings for breakfast and lunch. You really had to plan your day out. You couldn't sleep in late. You couldn't miss one of the meals. Otherwise, there would be no food for you to get.
We did get lunch one day. I can confirm it was tasty. We had a
was.
sommelier.
In the
we
restaurant.
had it was tasty, but it was very confined. We had to plan it out to be able to hit it specifically. And we are not big planners when we're on a cruise, and so you may not have that same issue. But for us, it was challenging.
It was challenging for sure.
Speaking of, that main dining room experience was hit or miss. The first night, it was so odd. Watch this quick video. Okay, that was a process. We got to the dining room, and probably 15 minutes, there was lots of scrambling. No one really knew what was going on. She kept yelling to the other server, "Get them their wine!" And there's a line literally down the hallway now trying to get into the dining room. We got a table. She did say to the other server, action plan, action plan. See you soon.
So that was in the Normandy restaurant.
It was bizarre. It took a half an hour before someone finally came and took our drinks orders. When they took the drinks orders, a second person came over to take the drinks orders. We said, no, we already took it. A third person came over and said, can I take your drinks orders? We're like, we just gave our drinks orders. So 3 consecutive. And the last person was mad about it. He's like, then what's your room number? It was a bizarre, that was our first main dining room experience on Celebrity Apex. And it was not a good first impression. Good news, the rest of the dining room experiences were
we
really
went to Cyprus the next night and it was night and day. What an experience we had in Cyprus.
great service, delicious food, but that first night, something was off.
Talking about some of the bar experiences that we had made me remember that the magic carpet didn't move. Well, it did move, but not while passengers were on the magic carpet. So we could either catch the magic carpet on deck 14 during the daytime or maybe in the evening hours. And then we would catch it on deck 16 for a drink then. And then during dinner, when Raw on 5 was open for sushi, it would be on deck 5. But you couldn't ride the magic carpet from deck to deck, which I thought was really strange. I thought that was the whole point of them putting this really unique bar onto this ship.
You're right, it was a little bit disappointing.
It was.
But speaking of disappointing when it relates to drinks, the premium drink package, I almost would put this in the hated. The fact that we upgraded or we had the premium drinks package, it's kind of a joke. It's really not a premium drinks package on Celebrity Sailings. It's up to a $15 drink value. Half of the drinks at Eden are $20.
Let me point out that we were not able to drink at Craft Social at all.
Craft Social, the cocktail page, they were above 15. Now, granted, you could pay the difference, but why am I paying the difference if I've purchased the premium drinks package? I mean, it was just ridiculous. We have never experienced that on any other cruise line.
The only other thing that I can think of that we didn't love about the Celebrity Apex was the fact that you couldn't get to the front of the ship, ever.
Yeah.
We were fortunate that we had a forward-facing room, so we were able to see what was going on ahead of us. And it's not that we have to see what's ahead of us, but we love to be able to just look out and see all directions from the ship.
We're on a cruise ship. We probably would have hated it had we not had that room.
I think we would have hated it if we didn't, because there would be no way to see what's in front aside from tuning to the channel on the TV.
Or booking a retreat suite cabin class so that you have that entire front of the ship to yourself. That was a little bit disappointing.
That was disappointing.
So then we move on to what we hated. And there were some things we hated on the ship. Hey, if you've made it this far, I have a favor. Go ahead and click that like button.
Make sure you subscribe.
Thank you, and ring that notification bell. So, what did we hate on the Celebrity Apex?
So you may have realized that a lot of the things that we've commented on are the drinks. We definitely noticed some challenges on the drinks package, as you have noticed. One of the biggest issues that we encountered actually was at the club. There was something going on with the bartenders there, the clientele. I don't know what was going on.
We hated it.
But our drink service was completely inconsistent for every single person that we ended up hanging out with. We ended up, the last couple of nights, we would go into the club and we would enjoy the music, and then we would go up to the martini bar to get our drinks because we just did not enjoy the service in the club.
And it didn't matter what the drink was. It literally, you could do a rum and coke and it was messed up. And so we don't know what the reason was. There was a specific bartender we all avoided. That definitely was not a fan of the group. And so Rocky's right. We would leave the club to go get a drink at another bar and come back to the club. It was that bad.
Yeah.
Another thing, there were a couple of things that we hated around the food. You remember those eggs at breakfast?
How could I forget those eggs?
The scrambled wet eggs.
When we're talking wet, we're not just saying wet scrambled eggs. We're talking standing water scrambled eggs.
I mean, I realize this sounds like a nit now, but they were the grossest eggs I have ever had in my entire life. We tried them multiple days because we're like, okay, maybe it was just an off day.
Nope.
They weren't eggs. I don't know what they were, but they were terrible.
Even the flavor was off.
Terrible. Yeah. And Eden Cafe, I'm sorry, Eden Cafe. I really love the Eden space. I really love the Eden restaurant. You heard us talk about that. Yeah. The Eden Cafe was another big miss.
I got a sad excuse for a Reuben.
Yep.
That Reuben had 2 slices of pastrami on it.
It was, and it had a weird flavor.
It did.
There wasn't anything that we ate all of from Eden Cafe. We tried multiple things. The pork sliders were probably the most disgusting. Outside of the eggs, were probably the grossest thing I had on the ship. Yeah. It was literally just lard between a bun. And it could have been the pork that they grabbed for the 2 sliders. It could have just been coincidental, but it literally was just 2 sliders of nothing but fat. It was gross. It was a gross experience. And so we hated the Eden Cafe experience and those eggs.
Yeah, those eggs were... Before we stop talking about the food and the drinks, there's one other space that I want to mention, and that was the Sunset Bar. The Sunset Bar itself had a pretty neat selection of drinks, and the space was really
Inconsistent.
nice. Inconsistent, of course. The space was really nice. The challenge up there was it was a huge pinch point. You couldn't walk past if the bar was serving a couple of people. There was nowhere to go.
Really poor design.
Really poor.
Really poor design.
But the saving grace of this is it looks like, based on the deck plans for the Beyond and Ascent, they have addressed this.
They fixed this.
I don't
We are
know-
not the only ones that hated this pinch point.
I don't know if they actually did this because of the pinch point issues or if it was just a purely design ethic. But the space looks like it's been redeveloped and it's a nicer place on those two ships.
Yes. There's only 2 left that we hated. You don't get to choose who you are roomed next to, but we could literally hear the person in the room next to us snoring each night. That's how thin these walls were on this cruise ship.
Yeah.
I was shocked by that. Now, the good news is we discovered if we moved, sounds tragic, but if we moved our bed a little bit on the frame, that we were far enough away from the wall that we didn't hear the individual, but we could literally hear them snoring through the wall of our stateroom. That's how thin. So if you're next to a loud group or a partying group, be prepared that it's going to be loud in your room.
Right. And keep in mind, we have a sound machine playing when we're sleeping. If we didn't have that, I don't know how we would have slept.
It would have been awful. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
This brings us to the final item on our list of things that we hated about sailing Celebrity Apex.
The Wi-Fi.
We recorded so much content for you, and yet we couldn't do anything with it.
I recorded a couple of videos live. I was upset. Recording a live reaction to how I feel right now about the service on this ship. Literally can't even connect to the Wi-Fi. It is absolutely the worst, hands down, service we have ever had on a ship. And this is across many, many, many ships. I'm thankful to hear that Beyond has got it right. I'm thankful to hear that other ships have got it right in the Celebrity fleet. But this is absolutely, if you are thinking about booking the Apex and working or doing anything that requires internet, book another ship right now. I'm telling you that live here on Celebrity Apex. Bye. I was frustrated. I was upset. What I will tell you is I feel bad for the iLounge staff. I really do. Yes. We worked down from the iLounge area probably 4 or 5 different times because that was what they claimed was the fastest space on the ship to work. And we both had to send kind of tail between our legs emails to our bosses apologizing that we just couldn't connect to basic email.
Yep.
And what was probably the most insulting is I heard the iLounge guy say to a passenger, "You show me where it says in writing that we promise you a certain speed on our internet plans." And the gentleman said, "You claim high speed streaming service." And it was an absolute miss, an absolute, I would say, joke to claim that there was any sort of service. Even to tweet or to send a text or to send an email, there just wasn't service. What they were offering to each passenger was 25% off of their premium bill. Good news, I don't have to work on every cruise. But as people that like to post or share content, it was the absolute worst Wi-Fi across 55 plus cruises that we've been on, the absolute worst Wi-Fi that we've had.
Right. The saving grace, and I hope this is true, the one iLounge staff member did allude to the fact that they're going to be turning on Starlink for that ship within the coming month. We don't know what the time frame really looks like. If they get it, great, that ship needs it, but until they get Starlink turned on, don't bother.
Don't sail on Celebrity Apex if you need to be connected.
So there you have it. Those are the things that we loved, didn't love, and hated on our Celebrity Apex cruise.
We spent a week. It was a beautiful week. We got to visit San Juan, Tortola, and St. Kitts. beautiful ports. We have excursions. We'll post those. We'll add the links eventually down in the description as well.
Yeah.
It was a great week.
Yeah.
I'm super glad we got to experience our
Likewise.
first celebrity cruise line sailing.
Yeah. In this cruise life fashion, we're going to break it down for you. The food, the drinks, the entertainment.
Okay.
How many ships would you assign to the food out of 5?
Gosh, if I were just assigning Eden for dinner on Thanksgiving, 10 ships, could we let's give them all of Carnival Cruise Line's fleet ships. Like, I mean, it was just unbelievably good. When you take into account the inconsistency, Eden Cafe, the breakfast buffet, those eggs Benedicts were so good. I would give the food, this is a hard one. What would you give it?
You first.
I would give the food 3.5, 4 ships. 4 ships, but that is because of Eden for dinner, the upcharge. Actually, I should cut that out because a lot of people don't get to experience Eden for dinner because it is $140 with tip.
For 2 people, not per person.
And so cut that out at probably 3 when I take Eden out of it.
Yeah, that's actually where I was on par with.
Really? Okay.
I felt like this was a 3-ship experience for dining.
Okay.
Let's talk about the drinks.
1. Sorry, folks. I'm giving it a 1 ship. I mean, there were drinks at the Martini Bar that I absolutely enjoyed. It was just so inconsistent throughout the entire week, and the premium beverage package just pissed me off.
I'm going with 2 ships.
Why? I thought you liked the
did,
fig.
but there was still the inconsistencies, and I was bound to the fig when I went to eat it, and there was nothing else on the menu that I could enjoy.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm giving it 2 ships.
And then entertainment?
Oh, entertainment, I'm going up there with the 4. 4 ships for entertainment for me.
I would agree with you. 4 ships. Those shows, that main theater,
great.
Amazing.
Caravan was odd. It wasn't a bad show. It was just strange. It seemed out of place on this
I
show.
don't remember. Oh, that was the circus one?
Yeah,
in the club. It apparently used to be in Eden, and they moved it to the club. I don't know why, but it was our seats weren't the best either. So I think that it is what it is. But entertainment, we enjoyed Silent Disco. You heard us talk about that. The shows, the club itself was fun. The actual club, the ABBA
DJs
party,
were
the
great.
DJs were great. All of that from an entertainment perspective. We actually didn't. This was the first cruise we didn't do trivias. We didn't do Deal or No Deal. We didn't do any of those sorts of things, but because we were just we had to work.
Yeah.
Work, kind of. And there was just other stuff that we explored and got to do.
My overall for Celebrity Apex would be 4 ships.
That's a real reaction right there, folks. That is a real reaction. I can't in good conscience give the Celebrity Apex anything more than 2 ships. I really can't. But with the issues that we experienced, it was stressful. Knowing that we both had to work, it just added stress that didn't need to be there on the vacation. The cruise overall itself, that's fair. I have to think about that one. The ports were great. I really enjoyed that.
Basic internet worked.
Shaking of the room was not great. The drink inconsistency. I'd like to try a different celebrity ship.
Yeah, agreed. There you have it. Thank you so much for sticking through to the very end. We do have some other videos that are going to be coming out soon. Le Petit Chef being one of them. We'll do a video on our excursions that we did in Tortola and St. Kitts. And then some of the other miscellaneous things that you may have noticed that we're currently wearing.
Inside access, you may have seen a short on this one. This was a really cool behind the scenes tour.
It was really cool.
Yep.
So thank you again for tuning in. Remember to
like, of course,
subscribe,
and maybe ring that notification bell. Ding, 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 ding.
That was a lot.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.